Hey guys, this is Zeon. We're here with my good friend Penguin. If you've watched the Funny Flock Adventures, if you haven't, shame on you. The video link is above. Click on it because it's good stuff. She has a deck that she likes to play that annoys all of us, and that would be...
the Fluffals! Cute little adorable thingies like this.
Creepy ass night... what is it, Freddy game called?
Five Nights at Freddy's. Which is a very good game, by the way.
She's going to start with monsters like we always do, and then magic traps, XYZs, all that good stuff. So, explain your deck, woman.
First up is Fluffal Doggy. Cute, adorable, running 3 of him. He's your searcher. Normal summon him, special summon him, doesn't matter. You get a search for either Fluffal or Edgem Sabers. Edgem Sabers is pretty much what brings out all the other fusion summons, because this is what this deck is about. It's fusion summoning. Everything else is pretty much weak. Next is 3 of Fluffal Bear. He searches out your spell card, Toy Vendor, which once again is also for searching. It lets you special summon a Fluffal if you draw into a monster, or if not, it just goes to the graveyard, which could be really, really bad if you end up sending your Poly. After that is Wings, Fluffal Wings. This is pretty much your combo with Bear. So normally what you want to do is you want to send out Bear, grab a Toy Vendor, activate Toy Vendor by discarding Wings, get a top search. If it's a Fluffal, obviously you can special summon it. If not, it's going to the grave. Either way, as long as you control that Toy Vendor, if you have a Wings in there in the graveyard, you can banish it and another monster, preferably Fluffal Bear, and you get a draw and also a search, which is very nice.
Comment guy is just like saying blah 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 blah.
Don't hate. Do not hate on the adorable cuteness.
Until you get to the fusions and they turn into horrific nightmares.
They're adorable little stuffed animals.
No, they're not. They're creepy.
Next up is Fluffal Mouse. It's probably one of my favorite cards just because he kind of looks like Hamtaro.
I was just going to say that. I was going to be like, this totally looks like Hamtaro. So, and you beat me to it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So we're like, I've known you for way too long.
So pretty much what you want to do with this guy is you want to normal summon him, and then what he does is he searches out 2 more copies of himself in the deck, and you could special summon them. Pretty much.
So he's like a cute version of Giant Germ.
Yeah, essentially, except he doesn't deal any damage. So essentially what you want to do with him is you want to poly with all 3 and the Sabers, and bring out Fright for a Wolf, which is your OTK guy. He's one of my favorites. And just go ahead and rape it.
And because you have a thing for wolves, too.
I do have a thing for wolves.
And penguins, obviously.
Obviously. Next up is the one-offs, Cat. So with Cat, when you use him to fusion, what you do is send him to the grave, and you get a poly back, which is nice if you want to go ahead and refuse again and you don't have any more polys. Your polys are all in the grave, you know?
Why have I never seen that card before?
Because it's really hard for me to ever get him out. I never really need to.
Got you.
Next up is Owl. He's probably the best as far as if you don't have any polys.
Not to be confused with the actual owl.
Yes, not the other
And
owl.
if you don't know about that joke, you need to go see episode 1 of the Funny Flock Adventures. Cheap plug number 2. We'll get 3 and I bet you watch.
Hey, old boy.
You're not in this video, shut up.
Leave the rooster alone. So with Owl, you normal summon him and you automatically get a poly from your deck to the hand. And if he somewhat survives the next turn, or if you don't use him to poly with, you can pay 500 life points, and that becomes your poly, which is very nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. Next up is Rabbit. Rabbit, when you use him to fuse, you can either get a Fluffal or an Edgem Sabers from your grave back to your hand, so a nice recycling there. Pretty standard.
And rabbits have bad habits.
Yes. Sheep. He's pretty much just in case you don't really have much of anything else. Let's say you have your one mouse that you put in attack mode. Let's say someone stopped you from special summoning the other 2 copies or something. You bounce it back to your hand, and then you can special summon an Edgem from your grave, which is nice. Normally you want to do that with Sabers. That way you can go ahead and poly again.
Bah, 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 bah.
Next up, this is Edgem Chain. He's pretty much one of the most important ones in the deck. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to get him in the graveyard and search a Fright for card, which is going to be your 2 spells. Factory and Fright for Fusion. We'll get back to those in a few. You could also fusion summon with him to bring out Fright for Sheep, who is pretty annoying and everybody hates him.
We all hate that babbling sheep.
So, essentially, the best thing to do with him is either discard him when you use Twin Twisters, or in case you like draw into him with Toy Vendor, you know, you still get the search off, which is nice. 2 of Edgem Sabers. I only run 2. There's no need to run 3. They're pretty recyclable. Once again, like with sheep and cat, or not cat, sheep and rabbit, bring them back.
Kangaroo.
Yes, kangaroo.
Fluffal, panda bear.
Actually, there is a new Fluffal coming out.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Fluffal.
Patchwork, which is very nice. He also shuffles himself back pretty much. He special summons himself by setting a card from your hand back on top of the deck. So he's recyclable. There's no real need to run 3. I've tried 3. It's kind of cloggy. There's no point to it. 2, King of the Swamp. Once again,
it is like so random. Like you got all this cute stuff.
Yeah, and then
you have like
just the random.
Yeah, like what the.
Well, the point is discard him, get a poly just in case you don't have an owl.
Oh, that's what he does.
Yeah, and then the 1 Edgem Tomahawk. This is one of those kind of scenario things in case you for some reason can't draw into an Edgem Chain or a Edgem Sabers. Essentially you normal summon him and then you discard from your deck to the graveyard one of those, and then he becomes whatever that name is for the turn, which is nice for in case once again you don't have anything to search them out. Or you could also just normal summon him, discard a card, and inflict 800 damage to your opponent.
Looks like freaking Build-A-Bear Workshop up in here. What the
Alright, well that's all the monsters. Everything else is spells. 3 poly, standard.
Oh, no way.
No, I don't
but it's not the cool poly they use in the show. It's like this is like the 25. You gotta get the $15 one, man.
Are you gonna pay for it?
To see how many views this video gets.
Next up, Toy Vendor. This is your staple for searching. You activate it by discarding a card from your hand. Essentially, you could do that preferably with wings. You could also discard a Toy Vendor, activating Toy Vendor, and then you get the search and you also get the draw. So
sounds like a lot of ridiculousness to me.
It is a lot of ridiculousness. It's amazing.
I don't approve of this shenanigans.
Next up, Fright for Factory. Let's say all your polys are in the grave for some unknown reason and you have no way of getting them back. You activate Fright for Factory, you banish a poly, and you get a poly. That's essentially what it is. If it's destroyed, and let's say you banished a Fright for Fusion or something, you get that banished card right back to your hand. So it lets you poly once again.
So this is where it starts getting scary. Look at these guys. This guy has scissors in his belly. What the fuck? This reminds me of that creepy-ass kid from Toy Story that makes all the weird-ass toys.
Sid.
Like, if he played Yu-Gi-Oh, this is what he's playing.
Probably. Fright for Fusion, one of my favorite fusion cards. You banish stuff from your grave, and you get to fusion. This is really good in case, like, let's say you just use all your materials trying to get Wolf out, and then someone solemn strikes you, or solemn warnings you, or some stupid BS like that. Then, let's say you have this in your hand, you can just go ahead and use the materials from the grave and go ahead and go for it. Yeah. Next up, Instant Fusion. I run 2, you can run 3, it's really up to you.
I think 3 is, like, unnecessary.
It really is. I find 2 is a perfect number. 2, Twin Twister, because this deck does not run back row and you need to be able to clear things out. So, activate Twin Twister, usually discard either a Wings or a Chain so you can get a Fright for card. And then last but not least, Dark Hole, because Dark Hole.
No, that's not what we do on this channel. We go Dark Hole because f*** you. No Book of Moon?
No, there is no Bay in this. There is no Bay.
This will be the first time on my channel that a deck doesn't have Book of Moon, I think.
I prefer Dark Hole because clear the field out, fusion summon into Wolf, OTK.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, so up for the extra deck. 3, Fright for Wolf. This guy is my little favorite of the Frightfurs. He is your OTK. He can attack for as many times as fusion materials as you use. So essentially you want to use Mouse, Sabers, you get 4. He's already 2000 attack. and that's game. Yeah. I've actually OTK'd many of people doing that on first turn.
This is true.
Next up is Tiger. He is the one
Creepy
to clear your field. So once again, as many fusion materials as he uses, as many cards as he can destroy. So let's say you're fighting pendulums or something, destroy scales, destroy back row, destroy monsters, it doesn't matter. Plus, he also gives a 300 booster for every Frightfur and Fluffal monster that you control to all other Frightfurs. The annoying card.
Ooh, bad.
Frightfur Sieve. This guy is, let's say you really don't have anything to go on the field.
Let's be honest with what this card does. This card saves your ass all the time.
Yes, this is my stall card. Let's say I have absolutely nothing, and I have an Edge of Chain and at least one Fluffal. Poly into him, leave him on the field. He gets destroyed once per turn. He comes back with an 800 booster. So it's very nice. Plus, if you use Instant Fusion, you could also use them to poly into Frightfur Saber, which will be next. This guy right here, because he needs a Frightfur. Use 3 materials. He can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, which is nice. He also brings back a Frightfur from your grave. So essentially, you want to poly with him in a Fluffal, and then fusion summon into this guy, and then bring him back. And then he gives 400 booster to every other Frightfur on the field. So he himself goes up to 28, and then everything else goes up 400.
Nice.
The one of Frightfur Leo. This guy I never really ever go into.
Yeah, Mother said never seen you play him.
Yeah, this is just a circumstantial thing. Let's say all your other stuff is in the grave. He's kind of.
But what does he do though? Don't even know because you don't play him.
I don't. I don't.
Well, let's read it. Let's read, children. All right, children, let's read. You can target one face of monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to destroyed monster's original attack. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card can attack your opponent directly the turn you activate this effect. Okay, so you basically like Ring of Destruction's a card. That's not bad though. Just something you can't get over. Just.
Yeah, he's he's
like
literally like a last ditch effort. Like I've never had to go into him.
What is he?
Ever.
He has a freaking chainsaw for an abdomen. What kind of horrific shit is this? It's so weird when you like look up cards up close. You notice these weird ass things. Like what the?
Yeah.
It's like he's like.
I want to play a game.
Frightfur Bear. I think I've only ever gone into him twice. Essentially, what you do is you destroy your opponent's monster, and then you equip that monster to him, and then he gains 1,000 attack.
I've never seen this guy either. I've never seen you play him at all.
He's once again one of those circumstantial things.
He has a demon in his belly. The Exorcism of Frightfur Bear. Make it happen. No. Hollywood would make a movie out of anything.
And then 2 Chimera. I mean, you can really run them at 1. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to fusion with 3 Frightfurs. When you attack, your opponent cannot activate any cards until the end of the damage step. So let's say they're back row heavy, you know, they run those Quakings, those Stormings, Mirror Forces, whatever. They can't activate them until after you attack. Plus, he gains a 300 booster for every monster that they control. And then last but not least, Daigusto Emerald, because
Daigusto Emerald.
Yes. Dude, in case you have like nothing, you can just shuffle them back in. You can go into them with Chain, Tomahawk, or Dog.
This is like the only non-Frightfur Fluffal card in your extra deck, actually. So
he's good.
Yeah, he is good. No, he's good for a lot of stuff.
That is all.
Alright guys, that's the end of the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Penguin's Frightfur deck. It's creepy as hell. It looks like something out of Five Nights at Freddy's. But it's very good, competitive. Did you play this deck when you did the tournament like a couple weeks ago when I was working?
I did.
What'd you make?
We left early, so I never got to finish the actual tournament. But when I played it, though, I think I only lost once with it.
Nice.
And that was because I literally had nothing but spells in my hand, which is sad because
you barely have any spells.
Exactly.
That was just bad luck. It sounds like.
Yeah, that was just like one of those random things that just kind of happens. I guess I never shuffled it as good from the last duel, but it's very good.
Alright, well that's the end of the video. And I was trying to bribe Penguin into just flashing us for the end of the video, but she didn't want to do it. So instead, the mascot for the Penguin is going to say the ending catchphrase.
Squeakity squeak 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 squeak.
Motherfucker! Scene A, take 1, Fluffal deck profile.
You already fucked it up.
Did I fuck it up?
You did.
Listen,
Take 2.
don't question the director, okay?
Take 3.
You don't say take or cut. I say take or cut.
Cut.
Where's the little? Hold up.
You're breaking the fourth wall. You're not even in this video.
Instant fusion, pay 1,000. Good job.
It always has. There's always, no matter what I do, there's always one part in the video where that happens. Like, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen once. Like,
Really?
it always happens to me.
Technical difficulties over here, people.